Hello and welcome to IAMC TV Radio. Today we're exploring the top news headlines for December 23rd, 2024. Lots to cover. So let's jump right in with a major development on the international scene. Former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has been granted asylum in Russia, following his removal from power by rebel forces.
This move by Russia is certainly interesting, especially considering the strict conditions placed on Assad's asylum. He's essentially under house arrest in Moscow, unable to participate in any political activities, and his assets have been frozen.
It seems Russia is offering him protection, but not a platform. Adding another layer of intrigue to this story, reports are surfacing that Assad's wife, Asma al-Assad, has filed for divorce in a Russian court. She's also seeking to relocate to London, which is interesting given her dual British-Syrian citizenship.
This raises questions about her future and the potential impact of her husband's situation on her ability to relocate. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds, especially given her reported health challenges.
Definitely a situation to watch. Now, shifting gears to the U.S., incoming President Donald Trump has sparked controversy with his statements about the Panama Canal. He's criticized the fees for U.S. ships using the canal, calling them unfair, and even threatened to demand control of the waterway be returned to Washington.
His comments are raising eyebrows, considering the canal was returned to Panama under a 1977 treaty and has been fully under their control since 1999. Trump's concerns about China's growing influence around the canal are also noteworthy. He's hinted at taking action if Panama doesn't ensure its secure and reliable operation, which adds a layer of geopolitical tension to the situation.
Quite a bold stance, especially considering the Panama Canal Authority reported record revenues of nearly $5 billion in the last fiscal year. Now, in other news, a friendly fire incident in the Red Sea has the U.S. military launching an investigation. 2 U.S. Navy pilots were mistakenly shot down by U.S. forces, highlighting the complexities and dangers inherent in military operations.
Thankfully, both pilots were rescued safely, with one sustaining only minor injuries. This incident, occurring amidst escalating tensions with Yemen's Houthi rebels, underscores the need for vigilance and careful consideration in such volatile environments.
Absolutely. Even the most advanced militaries are not immune to human error, and the consequences can be severe. Turning our attention to Africa, the Nigerian Citizens Association in South Africa, or NICASA, has condemned the murder of a 37-year-old Nigerian man, Mr. Julius Chukwunta. He was tragically killed by 4 South Africans in Midrand, adding to the growing concern over violence against foreign nationals in the country.
The details of the attack are disturbing. While driving to his residence, Mr. Chukwunta was blocked by the assailants, and despite seeking help from security, he was severely injured and later died in the hospital. 3 of the suspects have been granted bail, while 1 awaits a bail application.
NICASA has vowed to demand justice for Mr. Chukwunta and support his family during this difficult time. In a separate incident, an elderly Nigerian woman, Mrs. Uzoma Chinyere-Ndubisi, has found herself stranded in Egypt. After Egyptair allegedly confiscated her passport, she was traveling to the United Kingdom and missed her connecting flight due to the delay.
Her son, Obinna Okali, has filed a formal petition with Egyptair, demanding a resolution to the situation. He's seeking rebooking on the next available flight and compensation for the ordeal his mother has endured.
Let's move on to some news from Nigeria, where passengers on a train traveling the Warri-Atakpi route had a harrowing experience when the train derailed in Delta State.
Thankfully, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has confirmed that there were no fatalities. Engineers are working diligently to restore the track, and service is expected to resume later today.
It's a relief that there were no casualties, but this incident raises concerns about the safety and reliability of the railway system. In Bayelsa State, a community is taking a stand against what they perceive as corruption in government contracting. The leadership of the Angiama community is petitioning the state governor against awarding a contract to former lawmaker Henry Ofongo.
Their reasoning stems from Ofongo's past track record. They allege he has a history of abandoning projects after receiving mobilization funds, which raises serious concerns about his trustworthiness.
The community is instead proposing an alternative contractor, whom they believe would be more reliable and responsible with public funds. Lastly, we have a story about a popular Nigerian TikToker, Olumide Ogunsanwo, better known as Seeking, whose family is raising alarm bells over his alleged mistreatment while in police custody.
Seeking was arrested after posting a video critical of the police, and his family claims he's been subjected to physical abuse, denied food and water, and kept in deplorable conditions.
They believe this treatment is a direct result of his outspoken criticism of the police and his efforts to encourage Nigerian youth to stand up against police harassment.
This case has sparked outrage, and raises serious questions about freedom of speech and the treatment of detainees in Nigeria. It's a stark reminder of the potential consequences of dissent and the importance of holding authorities accountable for their actions.
Definitely a situation that deserves close attention. Taking a step back, it's interesting to see some recurring themes emerging from these headlines. We're witnessing power shifts on the international stage, concerns over national security and individual rights being challenged, and communities demanding accountability from their leaders.
The situation with Bashar al-Assad seeking refuge in Russia, while facing strict limitations, highlights the complexities of international relations and the precarious position of those seeking asylum. It also reveals the strategic calculations involved in offering protection. As Russia seems keen on controlling Assad's actions, while providing him safe haven,
Trump's stance on the Panama Canal raises questions about his approach to foreign policy and his willingness to challenge existing agreements, to assert U.S. dominance. This could have significant implications for global trade and international relations, especially considering China's growing presence in the region.
And the friendly fire incident in the Red Sea, while a tragic accident, underscores the fragility of peace and the potential for unintended consequences in volatile regions like Yemen. The presence of the Houthi rebels adds another layer of complexity, reminding us of the multifaceted nature of conflicts and the need for nuanced approaches to diplomacy and military intervention.
The stories from South Africa and Egypt highlight the vulnerabilities faced by individuals, particularly those traveling abroad. The murder of Mr. Chukwunta shines a light on the issue of xenophobia and the urgent need to address violence against foreign nationals, while Mrs. Nduise's situation raises concerns about the treatment of travelers and the importance of clear protocols and accountability from airlines and authorities.
These cases emphasize the responsibility of governments and organizations to protect the rights and well-being of individuals, regardless of their nationality or circumstances.
Back in Nigeria, the train derailment, though thankfully without fatalities, exposes the ongoing infrastructure challenges and the need for continued investment in safe and reliable transportation systems.
It serves as a reminder that development and progress require constant vigilance and a commitment to prioritizing safety and quality in public services.
The community petition in Bayelsa State exemplifies the power of collective action and the importance of holding elected officials accountable for their decisions.
Citizens exercising their right to demand transparency and responsible governance is crucial for ensuring that public resources are used effectively and ethically.
And the case of TikToker seeking brings to light the importance of protecting freedom of speech, especially in the digital age.
His alleged mistreatment while in custody raises serious concerns about the potential for abuse of power by law enforcement and the suppression of dissenting voices.
It also highlights the role of social media in amplifying marginalized voices and holding those in power accountable.
These headlines offer a glimpse into a world grappling with a range of challenges, from political upheaval and security threats to social injustices and economic disparities. But amidst these complexities, we also see instances of resilience, community solidarity, and individuals fighting for a more just and equitable world. It's a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there's always hope and the potential for positive change.
So as we process these news stories, it's important to consider what they mean for us on a personal level. How do these events shape our understanding of the world and our place in it?
They challenge us to stay informed, engage in critical thinking, and consider different perspectives. They also encourage us to find ways to contribute to solutions, whether through advocacy, community involvement, or simply by spreading awareness.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the constant barrage of news, but it's crucial to remember that we all have a role to play in shaping a better future. By staying engaged, informed, and compassionate, we can contribute to creating a world where justice, equality, and human dignity prevail.
It's a reminder that our actions, both big and small, can ripple outward and contribute to a more just and compassionate world.
So as we wrap up our look at today's top news headlines, what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
I think one crucial point is the interconnected nature of these events, whether it's political turmoil in Syria affecting global power dynamics, or a community in Nigeria demanding accountability from their leaders. These stories demonstrate how events in one part of the world can have far-reaching implications.
It highlights the need to stay informed about global affairs, even if they seem distant from our daily lives. What else should our listeners keep in mind?
The importance of critical thinking cannot be overstated. In today's information-saturated world, we're constantly bombarded with news from various sources, often with conflicting narratives. It's crucial to evaluate information carefully, consider multiple perspectives, and form our own informed opinions.
And beyond just absorbing information, it's important to translate that knowledge into action. Whether it's supporting organizations working to address issues we care about, engaging in meaningful conversations, or advocating for change within our communities, each step we take can contribute to a more positive future.
Absolutely. Even small actions can have a ripple effect, and collectively we can create a powerful force for good.
Thank you for joining us today on IAMC TV Radio for this exploration of the top news headlines. We encourage you to stay curious, stay engaged, and stay hopeful. Thank you for listening to today's top news headlines on IAMC TV Radio.